Okay, so in this board, we're actually going to be setting up our Pinterest the way it's supposed to be set up. Once we've created the account, we're going to be optimizing it for traffic. We're going to be starting to fill it with content, and we're going to I'm going to show you how to automate the whole thing, which I do recommend you do. It's not mandatory, and the software to do it does cost a little bit of money. It's the same one I use. I'd show you how to set everything up. So inside this page, basically, the first thing you want to do is when you're on your Pinterest homepage is you want to create a board, and this board is going to be called Best of whatever your title is. So I'll call it Best of Women's Fashion Paradise. And put like your own description in here. Doesn't really matter. Let's see if we have fashion in here. The most relevant thing. Home decor. Let's see what's the most relevant to fashion. Women's. Oh, look at that. Women's fashion is actually so popular that it's an actual category. We're not going to make it secret, and we'll get more into secret boards later. And we're not adding collaborators, which we will talk about later. So let's create. Why did authorization fail? Let's see. Let's quickly try that again. Awesome. So let us create the board. So we're inside that board. Let's go back to our main Pinterest. Okay, so now we have one board. Congratulations. So what we're going to do now, and what you're going to need to do on your Pinterest account, is you're going to need to make between 5 to 10 boards. 9 is a good number since you already have the best of board. Then just title them things related to women's fashion. So for example, I'll create 4 now just to show you. So maybe most trendy summer outfits. Okay, so just to show you an example, most trendy women's fashion. So again, no secret and no collaborators. Create it. Okay, we created 2. Let's get out of this board, go back to profile. Okay, so now we should have 2 boards. As soon as it wants to load. Okay, so actually I'll just do 2 for now, but you understand the concept of how to make them. Just, rewind if you didn't quite catch it. It's pretty simple. We're not going to be posting anything to our best of board right now. The goal for now is we need to actually just grow our other boards and basically get that going. So for this board that I created, the goal is to start now pinning very relevant things. So the easy way to do that is to go most trendy summer outfits. This is the non-automated way, okay? So this looks like a good one. What we're gonna do is we're gonna click save, and we're gonna pin that into most trendy summer outfits. Okay, so that's a relevant post now. This one looks very relevant, so we go there, we post that. So that's one way that you could do it. You could manually come in, and the goal is you want to do at least a few pins every day into these boards, because as you start to repin, people could see those repins, and you start to generate traffic to your Pinterest, okay? And that's not our main traffic method, but we need to grow the account and make it look like it's a very authoritative account in order for us to basically start using getting into group boards, which is, as we talked about, is the main method here. So once we do that, we can see that if we go into most trendy summer outfits, we should see some pins here. Okay, cool. So we have some relevant pins. So that's one way to do it. Now, there is a way to automate all of this this repinning into your own boards, which I do recommend you use. And the software that does that is actually called Mass Planner. So this is the Mass Planner website. The only downside of Mass Planner is that basically it's only for Windows. So if you don't have Windows, don't worry. There is another software that I could recommend that will help with a lot of these tasks. Okay, so Mass Planner is $10 a month. They do have a free trial. It works for a lot more than just Pinterest, but I only really use it for Pinterest right now. So it's very powerful, and basically it will help you do what you need to do. So I'll obviously show you how to use that, but I want to show you another one as an alternative. Okay, so this is the web-based version called AutoPin. This is for if you don't have a PC or you don't want to use Mass Planner. It has very similar features. So you could schedule your content, drive traffic back, and basically it helps grow your subscribers. Basically, they have it's $39 a month, so it's quite a bit more pricey than Mass Planner. But again, you don't even really need the software, Mass Planner or AutoPin. As I showed you, you can just spend a couple minutes each day pinning 5 times into each board. I mean, you could do it for fun. You know, a lot of people love Pinterest. They do this stuff all day for fun. You're actually doing it with the intention of eventually making money, which is great in my opinion. So that's just some automation tools. I'm not going to get into how to use AutoPin because I don't use it, but I'm just showing it to you as an alternative. But Mass Planner, basically, once you get it, it'll download a desktop app, and I could give you a couple of ideas of how to actually use that. Okay? So I'm in Mass Planner right now, and basically, it's got some information here. It's got my, what's it called? Different information for each of my accounts that I link to it. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to add profile. I can go to Pinterest. So I actually can't since I used 2. But basically you'd go through and you'd create that. And once you went through the steps of adding that, you could look at the tutorials on their website. You just go to Tools, and then you could basically see all these things that you can do. So for example, on Doggy Desires, I can go to all my different boards here. If I go to Details, it's going to show me all my boards. If I go to Dog Owner Love and I go to Details, you could see that I have this. This is the statistics I have. So I repin 5 times per day between the beginning of the day and the end of the day, and I have random times here. And I repin items between 0 and 2,000 likes. I mean, you could literally up that. So maybe if you only pin stuff that's popular, so maybe 5 likes. And then from sources, I basically take stuff from other boards that I have and pin into there, which is one of the options for what you want to pin in. And if you go up, you can repin by keyword, you can repin by boards, and you could repin by provided list of pins or from categories. So you could do women's fashion as a category to repin from. You could actually directly just choose that. So that would make it really easy for you. Okay? And then from there, you just go to the file, repin. You go to repin, and then you would just click start or stop. And once it says active, it means that it's doing those tasks. Okay, so it's repinning 5 times a day for me from these source boards. And that's how you basically use Mass Planner to set that up. Again, it's not mandatory to use Mass Planner. As you could see, you could kind of get by just doing it yourself. I mean, it takes 5 seconds to search for pins. I mean, let's, you know, if we were going to do winter outfits and we created a winter board, you could literally just come here. Okay, winter outfit, perfect, save it, and put it in most, I mean, you would put it in most trendy winter outfits, but just showing you, you're done. If you do that with 5 to 10 boards a day, 5 images, that's not going to take you more than 10 minutes. So if you don't want to spend any money starting out, just do it yourself. Okay, about 5 to 10 a day is more than enough. And that's how you're going to start growing your Pinterest boards. Okay, that's number one thing that we're going to be doing. The other thing is we need to start getting followers. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go into women's fashion again, type women's fashion. We're going to look for competitors in our niche. So Alice Kelly, looks like she is very popular. Okay, maybe not. She has 155 followers. Women's fashion. So what we could do, she looks like she'd actually be a good person to follow, so we could actually follow her. And as you follow people, a percentage of the people that you're going to follow are going to follow you back. So basically, if let's go back to women's fashion, and again, I'll show you how to automate this with Mass Planner. So you go back to women's fashion. See if we could find. Okay, so here's someone really good. 4.9K followers. Outfit ideas, beautiful. So basically you could come in, and actually we're going to be talking about this later, but this is actually gold if you're in this niche, because you see these little things here. This means this is a group board. So we just struck gold on a giant list of group boards that we could try to get into and get traffic from later on, but we'll touch on that later. So basically you come in here, and we see that there's a bunch of followers in here, and this is gold right here. These are people, very targeted people. So what we could do is we could just start following these people. I think they allow up to 500 followers a day. I don't remember exactly how many, but let's keep following just to give you an idea. Keep going until they tell you you can't anymore. Okay, so that's basically what you want to do. And when you do that, basically the reason we're doing this is we want to kind of increase the authority of our profile when before we apply to group boards. Because when we apply to group boards and they see this, they're going to be like, this isn't going to be a good contributor to my group board. But if you grow this, if you grow 5 to 10 boards and you have some good pins the way I showed you, and you eventually get to 500 to 1,000 followers, which if you're doing this the way I show you, even manually, it should not take more than you know, a week to a month to do that. But even if you want to just get to like 50 followers, which should take you about a couple days, maybe 2 days, that should be enough to start applying to some group boards. So we're not going to be talking about applying to group boards in this video, but what you learned in this video is kind of how to set up your account, how to start getting followers, and how to start growing your boards with content. Okay, so there's 3 main things that it comes down to that we're going to need to have before we start applying to group boards. So I'm going to say minimum 50 followers. That's if you're in a hurry to get traffic right away. Ideally, 300 to 1,000 followers. Minimum 3 to 5 posts of our own in best of board, and min 5 to 10 related boards with at least 10 to 15 repins from other boards. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. So what we learned here is we want a minimum of 50 followers, ideally 300 to 1,000 followers right here on our thing. We want to be having a minimum of 3 to 5 posts in our best of board. That's going to be our own content. We're going to be going over how to set that up in another video. And then we're going to have we want to have a couple of our own boards where we're repinning content from other people that's related, okay? And again, you could automate most of this except this part, which we'll be going over in another video. Now, last thing I want to show you is you can actually auto-follow with Mass Planner. So we go to follow, and then you could actually just say wait between how many minutes you want to do it. So you could say wait between 45 to 90 minutes. Honestly, you could literally do 3 to 5 minutes, 3 to 6 minutes at a random sleep time. Follow between 2 to 8 people per boards per operation. Maximum of 200 to 350 per day. Maybe we'll do 300 to 400. You could up it a little. You can play with these numbers. There's no exact science here. And that sounds good. And when you do that, it'll start following people with these statistics, and you just go to start auto follow. It's active, okay? And that would start auto following people. So that's why I love Mass Planner. Again, it's not mandatory, but it will help you. We're not going to need Mass Planner once we are in group boards and we're growing from group boards. This is just to get off our feet quickly to start growing this account, to get the credibility that we talked about here, okay? So that when we do apply to group boards, we have some credibility and there's a high chance of them accepting us. So I hope that makes sense. You have some work to do for setting up your Pinterest account the right way, and I'll see you in the next video.